Welcome to the Interior Design Business Strategies interview series. I'm so excited. We are in the second part of my 6-part series called Social by Design. I'm your host, Claire Jefford, and my mission is to bring you a no-nonsense approach to success. And today we are talking about the secrets to creating a blog that gets tons of traffic. Who doesn't want that? And who else better to ask than Laurel Bern from Laurel Home. So I am going to introduce Laurel now, for those of you who don't know her, but I'm sure most of you already do. Laurel Bern is an award-winning New York interior designer, blogger, and brand ambassador and keynote speaker. Laurel's design work was featured in national as well as Westchester County Shelter magazines. She's known for having a young traditional aesthetic and is one to buck many of the current design trends, unless of course she thinks that they are classics. However, after 21 years, as a principal designer in her firm, Laurel Bern Interiors, she has turned her focus to full-time blogging. Her award-winning blog, Laurel Home, has drawn a large following due to her candid style of writing, her useful information, and warm community of readers. In addition to designing and blogging, Laurel has authored 3 helpful online interior design products for professionals and design enthusiasts alike. So we will definitely be talking about these during the interview, and I will be sure to share links afterwards so you can see all the fabulous and extremely helpful products that Laurel has to offer. Laurel lives in Bronxville, New York, just outside of New York City. Please welcome Laurel Bern. Hi, Laurel.
Hi. Well, thank you so much for having me. And just listening to that, I wasn't sure you were talking about me, but I guess that is me.
Okay. That is you. You should be so
Yeah.
proud. This is just incredible. I've enjoyed. Now, I met Laura. Laura and I actually met for the first time at the Kitchen and Bath show in Orlando earlier this year with the blog tour. And it was fantastic to meet Laurel and to get to know her a little bit better than just through the blog. And we really want to talk today, so I like to jump right in, and I want to talk to Laurel. First of all, Laurel, I want you to, if you can, just in maybe 2 minutes or less, give us a little bit of history into how you got to where you are today.
Oh my gosh, 2 minutes.
I know. I'm asking a lot.
Oh, wow. Well, I started my business 21 years ago and had a lot of ups and downs like we all do, recession, crazy clients, etc. And anyway, 5 years ago, it's my blogiversary, like today.
Yay!
It's my 5-year blogiversary. I started a new website and a blog. I had a blog that I had abandoned. I already had a website that I hadn't abandoned but should have. And I started blogging. I had no idea what I was doing, and nothing happened. I mean, I would have like 10 people on my site, like 30 page views maybe, and that went on for 18 months.
Right.
Somewhere in there, well, I started a little online shopping boutique because I had been talking about doing this for at least 5 years, and I thought, let's just do it. So I did, and nobody bought anything. Nobody bought anything because nobody was reading my blog. I had it all backwards.
Right.
Right after I launched my shop, I moved to this lovely apartment, and 6 months later, I realized my phone hadn't rung, and I knew that was a big problem. I think I found myself on page 20. I don't know what it was. I just knew everything was a big mess. So I found this wonderful WordPress expert, Eileen Lonergan, who whipped me into shape, and it took a long time. Everything was wrong, the URL, the email. I mean, we would be here for several hours to tell you everything that was wrong. And once we got everything together, I started blogging regularly, and lo and behold, just that one thing, my stats, I went like from 30 page views a day to 80 the next month.
And when you say just the one thing, Laurel, do you mean just the blogging more consistently?
Just that one thing right there was enough to get the ball rolling, but still 80 page views a day is nothing.
Right.
It's not going to do anything. So I kept going, and then I started studying with some people. I learned a lot of very important things, that I needed to create an email list. I had an email list, but I had 27 subscribers.
Right.
So I what I did was I learned that I needed to have a bribe, an opt-in, not just to sign up for our newsletter, sign up for our blog,
Yeah.
but something that people really wanted to have.
Yeah.
And I listened to your last interview. It was really great, and the whole paint thing came up. In fact, I commented on your YouTube video, one of them. They're great.
Right.
I should be doing those too.
Yeah.
Paint is a big one
It is.
that drives people crazy. So if you can solve a problem, so that worked like a charm. And now I'm getting 1,000 new subscribers a month.
That's incredible.
Some of them do unsubscribe, and some of them I've had to unsubscribe after a time if they're not opening anything up. It just means that their email is going to spam most likely. Not if they haven't opened something up in 6 months. That's, or
Okay.
else, something happened. So, but you don't want that to happen. But anyway, so, and then one of my gurus talked about creating digital products, actually more than one guru, but, and I was a little nervous about it. And then I was in an accountability, like a little mastermind group that was an offshoot of the bigger group. And the leader of it, we were talking on the phone one day, and he said to me, "Laurel, what are you doing?" And I said, "Huh?" I said, "I'm blogging." He said, "Well, when are you going to create a product?" And I said, "Well, I'm thinking about it." And he said, "Well, what do you think you could sell?" I said, "I don't know, maybe 1,000 or so. I don't know." "And what are you going to charge?" $150. He said, "Laurel." I said, "Oh, it's $150,000. Oh my God."
Yeah.
I'm getting chills. And I went, "Holy shit. Yeah, let me get going."
Right.
So I emailed my list. I said, "This is what I'm doing, guys. I'm creating this shopping guide. This is my first product, Laurel's Rolodex.
Yeah.
And I'm launching September 26th. Well, it was like August 21st. I don't know
So
what I
was
was
this like
thinking.
a pre-launch? Was it like a pre-launch?
It was like this is what I'm doing. Oh, I left out an important part. I'm sorry. I did a survey. Big,
Right.
big,
Yeah.
huge, huge.
To find out what people wanted?
Yeah, I had 5 different things, and I had a ranking from ick, meh, okay, great, I'd like to have that, to hyperventilating, I must have this. Well, Laurel's
Yeah.
Rolodex had the most hyperventilating votes.
I bet it
And
did.
yeah, it did. And I had, it wasn't by a huge amount, but it was, and then I had a lot of greats for some of the other ones too, and hyperventilating votes. But Laurel's Rolodex had the most
That's really fun.
hyperventilating votes. And I will never forget, I put in a comment box, which I definitely recommend you do.
Right.
And this woman wrote, "You will be in my will."
Oh, I hope she did do something nice.
I was laughing for, I mean, that was
Yeah.
real. Yeah, really, really. What's your name?
So can
Did I
I
have
just
that in writing?
So when you came up with the idea to do the Rolodex, I love that you did a survey because you're finding out what your audience wants, which is perfect. Now, can I just ask, like at that point, what was your subscribership like? Like how was it to a point where you were like, okay, I can now sell a product here. I have enough people who are reading regularly. Like at what point did you kind of know that it was time to sell a product?
Well, after Scott said something to me, I had a little over 5,000 subscribers.
Okay.
And when I launched, I had about 6,000.
Right.
And I could have done it with less. I think, and I've talked to a couple of people, you need to have at least 3,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Having that subscription list is vital
It
to
is. Yeah.
everything. It's yours. It's your platform. It's how I won the Design Bloggers Conference, whatever, their Hall of Fame Best Writing Award, because I email, I said, hey guys, can you vote for me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, over 2,000 of them did.
Nice. And that
Yeah,
says a
that's
lot
how
about you, right? That says a lot about you and what people think of you, Laurel.
I know. I don't think I would have done that.
I think you
No,
would
I
have.
might have. I would have.
So now I just want to talk a little bit about when people are blogging. So this is some of the key things. Like how does Laurel Bern know what to blog about? Where do you get your inspiration? I mean, your topics are incredible. You're like my first person to go to for you just wrote one about lampshades, you did one on marble tops, ceiling fans, which I know that was a funny one because most people don't want ceiling fans. I mean, how do you choose what to write
Not in
about?
Toronto, but they do. They do in the South here. They really want their ceiling fans.
Yes, I like my ceiling fan too. But so how do you kind of come up with like, what am I mean, do you know in advance? Like have you got like a 3-week plan or a month out, or do you just
I
kind of decide?
should. I should, and I hope this makes people feel better. I have no idea what I'm going to write about. Um,
Okay.
uh, yeah, and I've been crapped on about that. But I won't say that's not an absolute. Sometimes I do a little bit. I have a list. I
Right.
keep little, I just have in my little notepad here, I just write, I have a little thing, blog topics. People tell me. They
Yeah.
write in
Yes, I
now,
bet. Yes.
not in the beginning. So in the beginning, one thing you can do, see what other people are writing about. Don't
Hmm.
worry that other people have already written about it because your readers want to read what you have to say. They don't care what somebody else has to say, and it'll be yours. You're not copying what they're saying.
Yep.
Um, you can, you can, it can be lots of things too. There can be seasonal topics. There can be best of, roundups,
Yep. Top tens. Yep.
things that you've in your experience as a designer, problems that your clients have had, problems you've had. There are a million different
Yeah.
topics.
And can I say, like, I don't know about you, but what I find is, like, when I do my videos is that I try to do a topic that I keep getting asked over and over again, because then I'm like, okay, if I just do a video here, then the next time someone emails me, I could just click them and link them to that video. Do you find that too, Laura, with your blogs, that you're like, okay, I get this asked all the time, I need to do it so people can stop asking me and I've addressed it?
Yes, many times of ceiling fans was that, the lampshades, all of those things. Now they want me to do a couple people floor lamps, but most people, I shouldn't say most people don't have floor lamps. It's a fine line. Like I said in the bloggers conference for people who were there, your reader is queen, and I had a funny slide of Queen Elizabeth. But you need to write about what your readers want to read about. One thing I've noticed a lot of design bloggers doing is talking a lot about themselves, like this is what I'm doing, this is my job, this is the award I won, this is me at this conference with these people.
Right.
I mean, your
Yeah.
readers don't care about your conference and your
Right.
friends at the conference. Hi, look at here we are all together. No, they really don't care. And it's not that you can't talk about those things, but maybe
Right.
10% of the time. You always need to be thinking, what problem am I solving for my
Yeah.
reader?
Like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is it that is going to make them open up this email? And that starts with your headline.
Yeah.
The headline has to be compelling. And like I will say, last Sunday's headline was a bit boring. I thought I would just try it out. It was not opened as much.
Really. And what was the headline? You remind us? Just for the lampshades?
Yeah, the lampshades. I thought, oh, it's a perfectly nice headline. That's just it. It's too nice.
Okay. It's interesting. And you know, because that's something I struggle with. I honestly, like, for me to sit down, by the time I sit down and I write my blog on my creating contrast designs, I find like I'm writing the blog, A, just because, oh my gosh, I haven't blogged for a month and I need to get something on there. And B, then I start to struggle with, you know, you do the MailChimp and then you got to do an enticing headline, or you got to do something that makes them want to open it. And so can you just share with us how you get a little bit of your inspiration for that? Because I really struggle. I don't know about anyone else, but I really struggle with that. Anyone else struggle with that?
Well, I have learned, you know, over time, I think there's certain words and certain, sometimes you need to create either immense curiosity
Mm-hmm.
or a little bit of fear.
Right.
Like the top 3 sofas and the one you must never get.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
which one should I
Which
never
one?
get?
Yes. Yes.
I need to know which one I should never get because maybe I just ordered it for my client.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
that's my favorite sofa. So it's that sort of thing. 10 ways you're killing your family and you don't know it.
Yeah. You told that one before. I really thought that was nice. I think you said 17 when I spoke to you last time. So at
And
least we're down to 10.
yeah, it's only 10 ways you're killing your family and you don't know it.
Yes.
And or just something, or the little known, or the secret. People love insider trade secrets.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
The
they do.
inside scoop,
Yeah.
you know. So if I had said the insider trade secrets for lampshades, I should have done that. I think I was a little tired last weekend, and that was not an easy post to write. I realized, oh my God, as often I do, it forces me writing the blog to actually examine, how do I do this? I think I think a lot of us, we just tend to eyeball stuff like, oh, that works. And that's not really quite enough information, is it? And sometimes I go, oh, and I realize one thing with lampshades is the harp, because that can control sometimes the lampshade's too high, too low.
Right.
Sometimes the fault isn't the size of the lampshade. I mean, I'm just using that as an example. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's so much detail, and you go into so much detail. I think that's what people love. Like you don't just fluff about it. I mean, you get into the nitty gritty and you talk about, you know, the real details of what people need to know and what we need to consider. That's what I love about when I read your blog.
well, I knew when I started my blog that I needed to set myself apart from the other 10,000 design blogs out there, whatever it is. And I knew I wanted to have gorgeous imagery, and I wanted to give out as much as I know. I know a lot of designers don't do that, and they think that, well, if I give everything away, they won't want to hire me.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is that the people who aren't going to hire you weren't going to hire you no matter what you say. And the
Agreed.
people who are considering hiring you are going to go, ooh, she's giving all this information for free. Imagine how awesome she's going to be if I'm paying her.
Yes. Love it.
And
Love it.
the truth of the matter is my phone, I couldn't get it to ring. And now I can't get it to stop ringing, even with a note on my contact page that says I'm not taking new clients.
Yeah.
They still think that they can worm their way in.
Can we talk about that a little now while you just mentioned it? So at what point did you realize that the blog has just become so much, and I know that you go to a lot of different events. I mean, at what point did you decide that you had to kind of close the doors on your business and say, you know, this is full time for me now?
Well, it was my dream.
Okay.
I love design. I hate the business.
Right.
Okay. I know
so many people. Yeah.
and you know, I'm on, and which you just joined. I wish I had mentioned that earlier. IDC, it's such a great group. Your group is a great group. And it's like every day, this happened, that happened, the contractor, the client, the vendor.
There's always something.
Yeah, and the more business you have, the more problems, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, after that was 19 years, after that, I was just like, you know, you know, to quote Adam Japko, some of you know this, I'm no spring chicken. Some of you, if you were at the Design Bloggers Conference last year, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So Yeah. And if there's
Yeah.
another recession, I really thought that, I'm screwed. I am, because the last time I think
It's
I
hard.
made $10,000 in 2009.
Yeah.
That's not exactly quite enough to live on. So there's that, and when I knew that it was going to work out was the day I launched my first product. I think the very first day I made, I think $7,000 or $8,000 that first
Wow.
day. The first
And you were
day.
like, hey, why didn't I do this sooner?
It was ka-ching.
Yeah,
It was,
incredible. That's incredible.
yeah, it was really amazing.
And it
Yeah.
is really valuable what you offer because, like you said, that's your Rolodex, and that gives all of your suppliers and where to go. And from what I understand, it's all alphabetized. And if I have that
Well,
right,
there's an alphabetical index and with a little blurb on each vendor. There's a legend that gives the general price point, whether they're to the trade or to everyone, retail, or both. Actually, most companies these are both.
okay,
If they have their own online website, again, almost everything is online these days. There are, I don't know, maybe at the most a dozen or so vendors that the general public can't get on because, to the trade only.
fair enough. Yeah,
Um, Again, a lot of those items are available online. And I know when this first started really taking hold, like 10 years ago or so, the internet, like everybody's freaking out, right?
right.
And it's a little bit, I don't want to, I never want to sell out, and I never want to hurt my fellow designers. The one thing I always say, I want to make it very clear on my blog, even if people are doing it themselves, I don't recommend that. I always
Right.
recommend that you hire a designer
Of
because
course.
this is
Yep.
not an easy business. I don't,
Yep. It's not.
I
We
don't
know.
have to tell you guys, I mean, you could be doing it for 50 years and stuff will
There's
still
always
go wrong.
something. Yeah, there's always something that comes up. There's always something that we're learning that's new, and that's why the groups are so great as well. But to kind of
Mhm.
talk about that. But yeah, so you've got that product. Now, when you rolled out the Rolodex, so I guess like the one thing that I think confuses a lot of people is we talked about like what product to kind of give away, or not give away, sorry, but to sell. But also, how do you even go about launching something like that? I mean, obviously you have to have the audience. First of all, that's pretty important. You can't, if you have no audience and no readers, then there's no point of launching anything, right?
No, right, because that's what happened with my store. It was
Right,
beautiful. In fact, if I did it now, I probably would do pretty well. I don't know if I want to do that.
right.
Um, so how did I create the product? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, obviously to know that, I mean, it must have been over time that you're realizing that people are asking this, you're giving such great information on the blog, and you thought, okay, this is what I need to kind of offer a product up now, and this is what I think it should be. And you say you did your survey, you found out that's what people wanted. Um,
Yeah.
I just think it's incredible because what I also find interesting is that you're not only just to designers, but also a lot of people that follow you are DIYers. Like they're not, like one of my clients the other day I was talking to her, I said, I'm going to be interviewing Laurel Bern. She's like, oh my gosh, that's one of the blogs I follow, so yeah, I just think so it's good because in a way you can approach both. Like you have an audience of both designers and
I do,
DIYers.
and a mistake I made, and something it's still not too late to rectify, is asking up front, are you a designer, a design enthusiast, or are you a new designer or want to be designer,
And where
aspiring?
would you ask that? When you say ask that, where
When
would you
they
mean?
sign up, and all they have to do is tick off one of the
Oh,
boxes.
nice. Okay, yeah.
Because obviously I'm going to market differently to designers than I will to um,
DIYers or homeowners. And
enthusiasts, right?
and
And also the people who are definitely um, would be most interested in my products. Well, the very most, I should say, is aspiring or new designers, because they're still learning, more so.
yeah, Yeah.
But you
So
know what? We're all still learning. So,
yeah, it's
um,
never ending. It's never
and
ending.
I think it is more designers that certainly buy the Rolodex, um,
Could see that.
than, than the, than the paint. I
We would
think
need it more, right? We would need it
some
regularly on a
people,
regular
some
basis.
people just, probably buy out of curiosity. I've done that with products.
Right. Yeah.
The other, the other thing too is, what is the other thing I was going to say? I forgot what it was, but oh, I know. Some people, because I give out so much information, they actually start to feel a little guilty, so they just buy the products,
Oh, wow. Well, that's all right.
and
That's all right
they
for
don't
you.
look at them. You know,
Oh, right.
I've had
Okay.
that happen.
Interesting. What, you know someone's bought and never opened it?
Yeah, because maybe, or maybe they said, oh, the email thing, that's a big problem. It's a big problem because people, I use PayPal, and people, maybe they signed up for PayPal 10 or 12 years ago and it was a different email address, but that's the email address that PayPal
Oh,
sends it to. Well, I have a workaround. They're able to put in the email address that it's going to, but the problem is it doesn't go onto the correct email list. I mean, it goes on the email list, but not the correct email.
right. Right,
So
right,
I
right.
do send out lifetime updates. Um, the last time I launched a product, I was having a price increase. That works really well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Um,
you're having a price increase,
yes.
you're saying this is going to increase, so buy now at this rate. That sort of,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good incentive.
It was. It
Yeah.
was. It,
Good
it,
for
it,
you.
it, yeah, it worked.
Good.
And so,
So can
yeah.
I want to
Mhm.
ask you, so SEO is huge, right? SEO is huge. If you're looking, so what I would just want to just to say to people is that there's two different things. Like if you're looking to be a local designer and you're looking to
Yes.
work locally, this is different. And correct me if I'm wrong, Laurel, to, if you want to kind of make it big worldwide and start selling products to, a large audience worldwide. So there's two different things, right? So I mean, the SEO is important, but I mean, we're not going after the same thing necessarily if you're just wanting to make it local and you want to work for people in your neighborhood versus you want to make it worldwide and start selling products and be a big blogger. So
Right.
can you tell us a little bit about like in terms of what you've had to do in terms of SEO? And I just want people to realize that there is, there is a difference.
There's a huge difference.
Hmm.
Um, when you are doing local SEO, you need to have search terms on your website that people are looking for, that they would be searching for. So they might be, and you can use all of them: interior designers, where you live;
Yeah.
interior decorators, where you
Yeah.
live. You can switch it around a little bit. It needs to be on your home page. Some people,
Your location.
yeah, one thing I want to say about websites is it does not help you to have a real fancy schmancy website. You need
Right.
to have something that's very SEO friendly, that's very easy to navigate, and all of the bells and whistles and distracting things actually can hurt you. Maybe they're pretty, but this is my pet peeve, is stuff moving. I can't stand those moving things.
Like if you get
Okay.
like the pop-up thing that says sign up, that sort of
Oh, well,
thing.
that's really horrible.
Yeah.
I do have a small from Sumomi pop-up when they're reading a post. It's not
Right.
small on a phone because it's a phone, but
Right.
um, but it's in the lower right-hand corner, and they have to get a third of the way down the page before it pops up. And actually, that also works
Okay.
pretty well.
So it kind of triggers, right? So once you kind of
Yeah,
scroll down, then after a while, and can you tell us where's your biggest like where do you find is your most success in your opt-in page? Is it the blog? Is it one of the pop-ups that come? Where do
I
you get the
use
most?
I use something called Magic Action Box, which
Okay.
integrates with, and it's a little tricky. You need geek help. That's what I call it, geek help. You
Okay.
need somebody to help you with this. I think everybody has a geek that they
Yeah.
work with, either
I do.
part-time or full-time. Yeah, we all need that. Even if you're pretty good that way,
You'll need some help. I agree.
yeah, you need to, I, I think it's a big mistake to turn everything over when I say that you can turn everything over, but you need to know how it works.
Right.
You have to have a general idea how things work.
Yeah, I think it's important so you can update certain things on your website every now and again,
Yeah,
right? But
like every day. Yeah, yeah.
every day.
You need to make it doesn't matter. Change one word, and in fact, go back to your old posts and refresh them. You
So
can
you
even
really okay.
you should.
That's a Laurel
Yeah.
Bern tip.
Now I
Okay.
have over 400 posts, so I actually could use some help. At this point, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to control. That I sometimes could use some help with all those kinds of things.
It's overwhelming for sure. So you're saying just go. So you're saying just go back, refresh a post, just change a couple words in it, and then it just basically just kind of creeps you back up again, kind of like when someone comments on your Facebook and it pops the post back up in people's feeds. Is that the kind of idea, Laurel?
Well, okay. So what you can do, I use Pinterest. Pinterest is my social media platform of choice.
Right.
And it take a while, but once you get that one going, I have thousands of people coming to my site from Pinterest every day.
I remember you telling me that. I think that's we have so much to talk about. Yeah, I would definitely want to talk about it for sure.
Well, Pinterest is huge. Yeah.
Can we just, before we jump onto Pinterest, can we just go back? Can you just explain a little bit about this magic action box that you talked about?
Yes, thank you.
That?
I know, it's like it's so easy to go off on tangents because there's so much. A magic action box is where if you're looking on my website and at the top of every blog post it says freaking out about your paint colors. Yes. That's my magic action box. Okay. So it's my opt-in. People, they don't have to go to another page or anything. They go, yes, I'm freaking out about my paint colors. How does she know? Yeah. Because I looked at my top posts and they're all about paint. So they just fill in their name and then they have to, you're supposed to do the double opt-in on MailChimp, so then they have to go, to their email, and I don't have that on the Sumomi one. I mean, it's fun. I mean, everyone is opting in of their own accord. Right. Do not ever buy a list ever. No. You can get in trouble for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at, I can't believe where the time's going, Laurel. Sorry, I do want to talk about Pinterest just for a second, because Pinterest, I'll tell you, I mean, I'm not on Instagram. I'm not really big on Pinterest or anything. And I just thought now Instagram was the way to go. But when we had a conversation the other day, you told me that really Pinterest is where it's at for you. Well,
let me just say something about Instagram. Instagram's great. Instagram, in a way, is a substitute for blogging. It's now, some people have huge followings on all of them. Something happens to Instagram or they make some massive change. I mean, that's unlikely. What are you going to do if that's your platform? You own your website, and I use WordPress.org. Well, it needs to be self-hosted. I prefer WordPress. It has all the great plugins and all of the great themes that you can use or have your geek person use. Yeah. So I think that it's, I've been very happy with it. Yeah, and you get a lot more people though from Pinterest. I think you said like 5 times the amount of people or more. No, more like 50. 50 times. So from what you get from like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram versus what you get from Pinterest. Yeah. I get nothing from Instagram. I mean, I get maybe I get 10 people a day. Okay. That's, so that's not a great way to get traffic. You need to bring people to your website. I read somebody had a question on Facebook. Why do you not just have your post in your newsletter? I call it a love note. Yes, and the reason why I don't call it a newsletter is, first of all, nobody's interested in your news. Okay, hate to break it to you. They are. Yeah, like, oh, I'm doing this webinar. But this wasn't open to the general public, right? Just to designers, is that right? Yeah. Yeah. So I couldn't announce it anyway because that would frustrate people. Right. Yeah, so I don't call it a love note either. That's just in my mind.
That's in your
It's
mind.
just short, and it links to the post because you want people clicking on that link. Well, first you want them to open up the email, and the headline does not have to be SEO friendly. So
Okay. Okay.
find out what happened to this woman when she bought a ceiling fan. That's what should say something like that, or oh my
Right.
God, you're not going to believe what happened, or
Yeah,
oh,
the
after
truth
this
about the shocking truth about da da da, right?
oh yeah, well, I did do that about that store with the initials RH.
Right.
I don't like. I'm like, oh my God, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a big
I
one.
didn't see that happening. I
Yeah.
thought nobody's going to read this. Like,
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I think that's another thing we always get surprised at. Sometimes we put something out there and we think this is going to be so good and all the comments, and then other times, there's
Yeah.
nothing. We thought it was going to be,
What's
amazing.
wrong with you guys? This is a good post. Why aren't you
Yeah, this is
looking
a
at
great
it?
one. I'm going to get to a couple Q&As in a second, but before I do, wanted to ask you about something else, and now I just lost my track of thought. So your favorite social media platform, we're going to say, is Pinterest for
Yeah, you
reasons
need a
because you
pinup
get.
button on all of your images. Some themes come with that. I
Right.
use something called a jQuery pinup button for images. It's a
Okay.
plugin, and you can create your own custom pinup button, or you can use theirs. They're more generic looking. But the
Okay.
important thing is to have it, because then your readers are doing your marketing for you, because Pinterest is marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I learned this from the mom bloggers, because they make millions of dollars, guys. They do.
Right.
I know. They're tacky. I know.
But people,
They're
they
making,
cover a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of moms out there reading.
yeah, they're making so much money. So they make those graphics with, the images with the words on them.
Yeah.
20 great shades of white paint. Like, and people love to pin
People
those.
love those. Yeah, they
They
do.
love those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of those. Some people like to make it according to their branding. I make mine all different because
Okay.
I don't want them to know it's me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
But it's good to make them pretty, but
Yes.
bold. It's bold.
Right. They need to be attracting some sort of attention. Now, with one thing that I read, and it might have been in something that you shared with me, and I think this is really interesting for people because I haven't been doing it. So when you do a blog and when you actually attach an image, don't just take the image that's called IMG5921.0 PNG or whatever. You really detail every image, don't you, Laurel? Like, can you just
I
explain
try
about
to.
and that's for
Yeah.
SEO? Yes.
Yeah, and it's so funny. You don't even have to put dashes or pluses or underscores, although I think some programs add the dashes. You just write out what it is that the image is.
So
White
if I'm looking at a
slip-covered
living room,
sofa
yeah, sorry.
with a seagrass rug and turquoise lamps. Okay, so, and then you put that in your alt tag. There is a place to do that when you upload your image.
An alt tag. Oh gosh. Okay. So we need our
And,
tech geeks for this or no?
it's really easy because what happens sometimes is when people click on it, the alt tag will come up on Pinterest. So they'll get a description already there. And I also, if it's not my image, I put the person's name in it. I should put my name in my images.
You should. Yeah.
I should. I have a stupid reason why not. Oh, I don't. It's a very stupid reason. I don't even want to tell you what it is.
Okay. I won't push if you don't want to tell us.
No, because my signature is Laurel, and it should be a custom signature that's part of my template.
Right.
But I'd have to go back and change like 400 blog posts so that it didn't say Laurel Laurel.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. So, but essentially though, when we're uploading to our blog, we should be saving the image as painted ceiling, Sherwin-Williams color, da da da.
Yeah, you can do that. Long tail keywords. Also, Google looks at the image because for what It is. Google can't, can't divine that. So sometimes when people are looking for a pale room with white sofa or something, so somebody Googles that, and that's in your photo.
Right.
And because nobody else is doing it, your photo's going to come up.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Most likely.
and sorry, Laura, with that, do you go to the extent, like say with YouTube, like I would go and see, I go and see what people are Googling. You go to the, I don't know if it's Google Analytics. I can't remember what the name of it is now. It escapes me. But you go and you see what people are Googling, and then you kind of see what the keywords are and how many people are searching it, and then I would do a video or a blog about that. Do you go into that detail, or you just look at the image and say, okay, what's in this image, and not necessarily get that detailed on who's searching that term?
So this is the thing. The words don't have to be exactly, if it is an exact match, if somebody says, they put in best shades of white paint, and mine says great shades of white paint, I'm very highly ranked for white paint.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't always matter. And you need to have those keywords in your post too.
Right.
They need to be in your headline, and they should be in your keyword should be in the first sentence. And I use another plug-in called Yoast SEO, which doesn't do anything. It only tells you if you're doing it right or wrong. It'll say, you didn't use the keyword in the first sentence. Yes, I did. Because I have to put a space there because I just do. So it's reading the space, the little.
I recognize it. Interesting.
Yeah, but it's there, and whatever it is, it definitely works. There are all these tools like strategic data, keyword, blah blah blah, and it'll tell you what the competition is for that. I don't pay any attention to that. Right. I don't pay any attention to that because if I did, I wouldn't be where I am. Just write about what people want to read about and make it very solid, rich content. Long posts are good. There's one blogger, I'm not going to mention her name. I think her posts are too long. She does like 80 to 100 images.
Wow, that's a lot of images.
I draw the line at 30, and a couple thousand words, but most of my posts are at least 1,500 words.
Yeah, yours are pretty long too. I know I try to make mine as short as possible because I'm just trying to get it done.
You need to have it at least backwards. It needs to be at least 300 words, or Google won't take you seriously.
That's good to know. Now, hang on. Before I just want to ask a question. Okay, so I'm going to do some Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, throw them in the question box here. Laurel, I have one here because I just wanted to mention. I saw Wendy is asking. Where does Laurel get her blog pictures from? So do you get them from Pinterest? Is that where you get the majority of your photos from? Like when you're doing a topic and you want to write a blog post, where do you go? Where's Laurel's go-to place for images?
I do get a lot from Pinterest.
Yeah.
But what happens is sometimes the image isn't the greatest quality, or I don't know whose image it is. I take great pains to attribute. I wouldn't want somebody to use my image without giving me credit.
Yeah. And
it is the right thing to do. Without getting into the whole copyright thing, there is something called fair use. Mm-hmm. And we're journalists and we're teaching, and you're not directly profiting from that image. I didn't put it on a mug and sell it. Yeah. I'm not saying it's mine. This is my business. I had that happen to me. Actually, a woman in Toronto. This is several years ago. I just happened to be looking up my images or something, and I found she was using it to advertise her business. One of my images that was in my portfolio. It was my old portfolio.
Right.
But, and my husband, I'm not married to him anymore, but he called her up and reamed her out. And he's not even the type that does that, but he did.
Wow. Yeah.
But no. So
I know designers have done that too to cover.
To tell you, most people are very happy. I think I've had twice in the 5 years somebody asked me to take it down. Like, fine, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get those letters in the mail, that's actually it's actually illegal. You're not going to sue them, but that's extortion.
Yeah.
and harassment,
Yep.
because and stalking actually, and that's illegal in this
Yeah.
country anyway.
Yeah.
And I know people have gotten sick from them, and it
Yeah.
very much upsets me. I mean, they've
I've got
gotten sick.
Yeah, I'm
I've
so glad
got
you mentioned it. I'm so glad you mentioned it because I know that I asked you and you were very kindly, you wrote a post in my interior design business strategies group, and it just put
oh
everyone at ease because you did, yeah, you did, and it is because even I get the same, yeah, I've gotten a few, and then as soon as I get them, I'm like, oh no, so I go and I remove the image because they're like even on my old blog, and then I just delete them because you said it's okay. So I thought, well, if Laurel says it's okay, I'm just
I spoke to a couple of big time editorial photographers. One was an asshole, I have to say. The other one was very nice. Don Freeman, really nice guy. And he said, I expect people to use my images. And but the ones I put up aren't large enough for print, because that's where I make my money, is print. So the other one, but neither one of them knew anything about these, it's like Getty Images and their subsidiaries who are sending them out. They didn't even know anything about it. So in other words, if they are collecting money, the photographers aren't seeing any of it.
yes,
Isn't that nice?
yeah,
No, it's a scam.
yeah,
It's a scam. You do not interact with them in any
yeah.
way.
Don't reply.
Call Paula Yost. I found out about her from Tracy Zeller, and everybody gets them eventually, these
Yeah,
letters.
yeah,
Okay, so call Paula. For $50, at least 2 years ago, that's what she was charging. $50, she'll send a letter to them.
right.
And what she asks actually is very interesting, is do you have the, even though everything is inherently copyrighted, in order to sue somebody or collect damages, you do have to have it registered with the Copyright Office. And it has to have been done before any correspondence has been sent out. So they write back and they say, oh, we don't have to do that. Like, well, you do if you want us to whatever, and that gets the monkey off the back.
Yeah, yeah. Then they just go on to somebody else who maybe hasn't figured it out yet, right?
Because, yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's really, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you cleared that up because I
But
know.
you know what? Please take my images and pin them and use them on your blogs with attribution, because I will get a backlink from you. And that
Yeah.
is golden. That
Backlinks
is
are-
what you want. You want backlinks, because Google sees those and goes, oh, they're linking to Laurel. That means that must be good content.
Yeah.
Because people don't link to bad content.
Yeah.
So you want
you want
those.
that.
That gives you more authority.
Yep. Yep. No, I love that. I've heard that too. I think
Yeah.
that's a great tip. Yep. So everyone's going to start going to Laurel Bern's Pinterest page and start using, because you need more traffic to your site, girl. Can we just talk about these numbers? I have to touch on these numbers because they're just incredible.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about this. So this is a little bit of incentive for anyone out there looking to kind of go big on a blog. So your monthly page views at this time, 585,000 a month.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's incredible. And you said that 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, guys, so don't feel, disheartened here. 3 years ago it was 4,300 page views per month. So you've gone,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what the percentage is on that. It's just skyrocketed, right?
And there were even some plateaus in there. And then all of a sudden it would jump up, a big amount, and then it would stay there. So it's very, very interesting. I don't take any of it for granted, but I, do try to follow the rules.
Yes. Well, yeah. So, and how often, so you blog twice a week, right? You blog
I
two
do.
times?
There was a period of time, maybe even 6 months, where it was once a week, because when I created my first product, I had just taken 3 new jobs. Like, also.
New clients. You're taking clients at that time
And that's
too.
also how I knew I couldn't do both. I was
Yeah.
going nuts.
It was
Even writing one big blog post a week. And I don't mean to say that to discourage people who want to have a blog, want to have products, and still want to have clients. I think you can do it all, especially you do have people helping you
Yes.
already if your business is there. If you're a solopreneur, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. And I think a lot of time, I think we know it's not easy. I think everyone is coming to the realization of that. But would you say that let's say like once a month if you want to do local like SEO kind of thing, and maybe once a week for people who are trying to do, or do you think 2 times a week people should be blogging if they want to be, you know, if they want to try to aspire to get to where you are, Laurel? Like, should they be doing twice a week?
It is better. I think it's better. I think twice a week is not too much that it's going to bug people, although you're never going to please everybody. Some people will say that twice a week is too much. I get bugged by the people that are doing it every day, and there's a reason why they're doing it every day is because they're making their money from affiliate marketing purely.
Right.
And that is why they do it.
Doesn't become so genuine anymore, though, does it? Like, it becomes a little bit less.
It's very difficult.
Right?
I am starting to get into that more. You will notice there are no Google ads on my site, and there never will be ever again.
Right.
Because I was making like $2 a day from them.
Oh, so it's not worth it to clog up your site?
No, it's not. It really isn't. So, yeah.
So, and then the other thing I wanted to ask you, well, I've got another question here, so let's just see. Someone's asking, why does your newsletter just direct you to your blog?
Right. I think I started to answer that. It's because you want that SEO value of people clicking on the link and coming to your website.
Right.
If they're not coming to your website, if they're just reading it in your email, Google doesn't know that.
So maybe that's why it always says click here to read more, and then
you want them coming to your website, and then you want to keep them there as long as possible.
Of course.
So
we want the bounce rate down, right? The bounce rate to be down, and
you
people
want to link back to your old posts that are of a similar topic. So you're writing about lighting, like, oh, if you want to know more about lamps or sconces, click here and here.
Post, yeah.
All those things, and I have those related posts at the bottom, and you can control which ones they see, so I try to spread that out.
So if you were to say, okay, so we're coming up to 2 o'clock. I know, where does the time go? I just love this. If you were to say, let's look at 2 things. One is, what do you think? Let's start with this one. What do you think is the biggest mistake that people make? Like with their blog or their website. What do you look at and you think, oh?
Well, the sign up for our newsletter, I call that the wimpy opt-in.
Okay, I'm going to change mine. Okay, I got to change mine.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I had a wimpy opt-in too, and it didn't work. I was getting 2 new subscribers a month. A month. No, it should be 1 or 2 an hour.
So so you're saying it should be at the top. What you've got at the top, that magic box that you've got at the top of your
action box. I mean, there are other ways to do it, I'm sure, but that one works. I think it's free. It's a plug-in. I did have a little help with it the first time, and now I can change it on my own. I'm trying to. Oh, never mind. There's always stuff that goes wrong. I'm trying to change something else, and it's not working. And
I hear you. It's never ending. It's never ending.
It is, yeah.
What would you say is your most valued tool or the smartest investment that you ever made in your business? Okay, so maybe not necessarily maybe into the interior design business or with the blog. Like, what's the kind of thing that you invested in and you were like, that was so worth it. I couldn't have gotten here or done that without that tool.
Well, certainly getting a WordPress expert, a WordPress blogging expert who really knew what she was talking about. I think a lot of times design bloggers, they look at what other people are doing, and it's a mistake. For instance, RSS is dead. You don't have to do tags. They do categories. And that's another mistake I see. Sometimes I look at somebody's blog, and I don't know where the rest of the posts are. So,
in what way? Sorry, so explain.
I can't see. There's no. There are no categories, and there's no archives. There's nothing.
Okay. So like almost when you have the bar down the side and it says like, here, check out this blog post
Yeah.
or here's my
And
product.
I have another widget that I'm getting an echo now all of a sudden. That maybe that's like trying to like, a widget that gives the top 10 posts. It's the top 10 posts of that day. It's not necessarily all time, but what's getting a lot of traffic at
Oh,
that
so you
point.
have something that tells you what your top 10 posts are every day that are being read.
Yeah, and I also use, which I love, an Jetpack, which is a great plugin for self-hosted WordPress. It gives
Yeah.
you those benefits of regular WordPress, but you don't want regular WordPress because you don't own your site. They do.
Right.
But Jetpack stats are fabulous. It
Yeah.
tells you where people are coming from,
Yeah.
what they're reading, and what they're clicking on, and sometimes even the search terms. And it's all on one page.
Yes, I think I have that because we talked about that, and I was like, I think I have that. Yeah, so and that's what you want, right? So I think maybe just to wrap it
Yeah.
up, I think it's we go out there, we do our website, we do our YouTube, or we do our blog, and then we just leave it, right? We just hope that it's working, but it's really, you really got to go back and have a look at the stats and look at things like this Jetpack. Where are your audience? Where are they coming from? Who's
Yeah.
reading? How many clicks are you getting, right? Because if you're not checking that, then how do you even know what you're doing is working?
You don't, and in fact, I'm going to be contacting this guy to do some deeper investigating, for instance, for my products. Where were they before they got to the page where did they see that before they clicked buy now? Now,
Okay.
people click buy now and don't necessarily buy. Maybe they just want to see what it's all about.
Oh, so you can even
But
see people that have
still,
clicked. Okay. You can see
yeah,
who
I
have clicked by
can.
now, but don't quite go right through
I
to you.
can't see who. Don't worry. I can't
No,
see
no,
who.
I don't mean to, but I mean you can see the stats on people that go to click to buy and then for whatever reason get cold feet or they were just being nosy and they're not interested. You can
Yeah,
actually see.
it doesn't count because my conversion rate's very good. It's like 66%, but that's
Really?
not what it looks like on my site. So I maybe that means that they actually went so far as to hit the, go to PayPal and they went, oh, it's PayPal. You don't need to have a PayPal account. That's just the secure payment gateway. You can use a credit card, so you don't have to have a PayPal. I'm not thrilled with PayPal either, only for one reason. If somebody complains, and it's usually because they didn't get their product because either it usually goes to spam, or
Right.
they just, whatever,
Yeah.
um, who knows. Or um, they contact PayPal, and because it's a digital product, PayPal gives the buyer the benefit of the doubt and takes the money out of your account. It's not until you prove that it was sent. So, then that can take a little while, and it's annoying. They also have a horrible website. It's not user-friendly at
Right.
all. Yeah, but otherwise, PayPal's great.
Right.
It's, yeah, fine.
I'm just gonna. Okay, we got to wrap up in a minute. Yeah, I know. I gotta wrap. I gotta wrap up. I gotta wrap up. Okay, we've got so many more questions. I don't know, Laura. We're gonna have to you on again. I'll do it. I'll do something else. We'll have to have you on again. So many people are giving great feedback here. Um, can you ask Laurel how many sponsors and affiliate marketing partners she has? Last question. That's the last question. Christy asked that.
Oh, well, I'm an idiot, certifiable, really. I just a month ago got on Amazon. Oh my God. No, it's really funny because, the way it works is they click on a link and then they go and they buy diapers. Or, I can see what they're buying. I
Yeah.
can't see who it is, but it's really
And
funny.
you get affiliates from that, even if they're buying diapers just because they went to your site and clicked Amazon from your
I'll
site.
get, it's averaging out to about 6% of the
Wow.
purchase price. It's no more price for them. You do have to disclose. I actually you really, so it's actually in my footer. So I'm
Right.
using them. I'm using share a sale a little bit. I use shop style. That's a really cool one. When they click on things, and that averages out to about, for me, 6 cents a click. They start you out with 5. It can be lower. It can be a penny.
Okay.
For me right now, it's because people also have bought things. So it's averaging out to 6 cents a click, and that adds up. I'm making about $400 a month from that.
That's not bad, right?
I've been trying to get reward style. I've been turned down twice, and they're going to put me through this time. I have no idea why. Like,
right. Yeah.
Really? I mean, most of them are fashion bloggers, but not everybody is. There are a lot of interior designers on there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that they saw or didn't see. I think, I try to be fairly classy.
Yeah. You are classy. You are classy, and you are so classy to have been here today and to have given your time and your knowledge. I'm wondering if, we've still got a few questions, but I don't want to take up anyone's time live video.
I can stay for a little bit if you want to.
You know what? I was going to say that, or do you want to hop on over to my Facebook page and we can kind of ask some questions?
Maybe it's just easier to do it here. Or
you want to? I'm just worried that it's about an hour, but you know what? Okay, let me go through. Let me get one more question, because then we can hop on the page and some people can ask some questions there.
Okay.
I'm going to have to, I can see the questions really, they're coming up very small here.
And just answer them in print? Is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm just thinking. Yeah, like I might just put a couple of them in the group, Laurel, and then.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
You want to do one more? Or?
Yeah, let's do one more. Yeah, I like this too. Okay. Amy, don't get mad at me. Is it better to link directly to the blog or to the official website, since I have both? Amanda's asking. So I'm not sure maybe that if Amanda has a blog separate to her website, so maybe first of all.
No, I think I read it. She said it's all one thing. It needs to be all one thing. You do not want to.
Your blog needs to be in your website, right? You don't need to have a separate one in the
website. That's one reason why WordPress is so great. It's your blog/website. It's everything. It's everything. Your portfolio's there, your About Me page, everything is all in one place.
Yes.
So you want that. And when you comment on somebody's blog, which you should, other people's blogs, which you should do, and there's a place to put your URL. So you put your blog URL, and if it's a particular post, like it's a post about lampshades, and you wrote a post about lampshades, just link to your post. You don't have to say it's your post. It'll show up in your name. It's not a raw link. It shows up in your name, so people will click on that sometimes and come to your website.
So when you comment on someone else's, you're saying add that link. Now, do you mean like when you're prompted to put in your name and your URL, you add in that URL instead of your website URL?
Right. So you just go and look up the URL for your lampshade post or whatever it is.
Right.
That's related to that, kitchen cabinets, whatever it is. Copy and paste that URL and then put that exact URL in the space to put your URL. So that will take people to a similar post that you wrote. You don't have to. I do send people to the blog page, though. At the very least, I send people to the blog page, not to the home page.
Okay. Because I didn't think people saw that. When you put in your name and then you put in your website, I didn't think anyone really saw that. Okay.
They do, especially if, and not to be like a blog hoe, but, if you comment on people that have a lot of followers, they're going to click on you. Yeah.
No? Yes, I remember Maria Killam saying that was one of the things that she did to build the blog.
Well, I do that on her. Yeah. That was exactly who I was thinking about. I get a lot of people from Maria. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's got a good following too.
And I think, and vice versa, actually. So
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap up here. I've got a couple questions that we're going to take over to the group.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw them in the group, and then Laurel, if you would be so kind to ask them, that's in my interior design business strategies group. But this is live, so they'll still be there later. Laurel, thank you. I could just talk to you for another 3 hours, to be honest.
And we could talk for another 3 days because the subject is vast.
It is.
And there is so much that, I'm telling you the what, not even the how. How do you do that? How did you make that graphic? it's just,
Someone asked that. Someone asked, so that's a question we're going to ask in the group. They want to know how you make if you make your graphics and how you make them. So I'm going to post that in the group. I'm going to tag you in it and a couple more.
because I
And,
had that question 3 years ago, and nobody would tell me.
well,
And
you're
it
going
was
to tell
so
us now. 'Cause
fresh. I'm going to tell you.
You're so
Yeah.
lovely to share. Thank you so much for being here. And what I'm
My
going to do is
pleasure.
you've got a couple other products too on your website, so I'm going to put them in the group. We are going to replay this. I'm going to replay it in a few days or as soon as I get the link up. And when I get on my YouTube channel, I'm going to put in the description your links to your website, to your blog, to your products. And you just have so many great things to offer. And I thank you so much for being here and
Thank
taking
you.
the time today.
Thank you.
And we're going to carry on over in the group. But thank you, Laurel.
My pleasure. Okay, I'll see you all back at the ranch.
All right, we'll see you there. Thanks,
Okay,
Laurel.
bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Go check out the group now. Interior Design Business Strategies. We'll see you there.